I thank the noble Lord Truscott, for initiating this debate tonight on fracking. It concerns the important nature of the UK's future energy mix and whether fracking has an acceptable role to play. The continuing debate and your Lordship's contribution tonight are serious matters that I commiserate with the noble Lord Truscott should he consider that being positioned between stages of the EU notification of withdrawal bill may not do justice to its importance. However, my Lords, the debate tonight has been excellent. I also wish to thank all noble Lords who have contributed tonight at this very important juncture of our deliberations on the UK's future role in Europe. I am disappointed that the contribution of the noble Lord Howell of Guildford has been noticeably absent tonight, and I am pleased to see his conversion to a more critical stance in his contribution to the Journal of Energy Security, where he calls for a change of direction in fracking policy, saying that the view coming from ministers is much too optimistic. I would agree with him, despite the assertions of some of the contributions tonight. Labour recognises the dominance of gas in the UK's energy supplies and the concerns for the nation's security of supply while the UK transforms into a low-carbon economy. While the government is coming forward with every assistance to further the role of fracking as a game-changer, we have some critical questions from a different, more realistic perspective. These are, my Lords, is it likely to be the game-changer? Is it safe, and are there special places like national parks that need special protection? Is it wanted and recognised as really needed? Is it really a low-carbon bridge to a sustainable future? And I'm grateful to the noble lady Baroness Featherstone for her recognition tonight that this debate maybe doesn't reflect the less assertive views widely held. The debate tonight has recognised some issues between the competing views on this question. The debate tonight has been mostly positive towards fracking, and as Lord MacGregor has said, has largely regretted the progress that has been slow to pass even into the exploratory drilling stage, and that speed is certainly to be welcomed. However, Labour has always been very sceptical about fracking's supposed benefits. The geology and geography of the UK is very different to that as in the United States. Theoretical reserves are not the same as recoverable reserves, and the evidence at present points to likely recovery rates of shale gas from wells being rather disappointingly low, with rapid depletion and the need to establish large numbers of wells and pads in concentrated areas of the country that are not largely unpopulated, all to extract even a modest amount of gas for the UK's energy system. Shale gas is unlikely to be able to replace the diminishing returns from conventional natural gas. The exploratory evidence is yet to be produced to support the estimates from the British Geological Survey. Labour has never believed that returns on fracking are likely to be so compelling as to allow the overriding of legitimate concerns about the process on safety, environmental and community grounds. This debate has underlined that fracking should only proceed on the basis of clear and rigorous environmental safeguards. Furthermore, there should be an outright ban on fracking in and under areas of environmental sensitivity, such as national parks, the areas of outstanding natural beauty, as well as sites of special scientific interest and water protection zones. These areas need better protection from even the added requirements that fracking be limited to depths below 1,200 metres. We would also contend that the government's environmental conditions do not measure up to Labour's standards achieved during the passage of the Infrastructure Bill, which was subsequently reduced by the coalition government in 2015. These environmental tests should also include an understanding of the numbers of wellheads being set up and the cumulative effects the numbers might give rise to over and above that fracking is taking place. I certainly enjoyed the contribution from the noble Lord Mair, who gave us the perspective of his Society's report from 2012. He emphasised the importance of the integrity of regulatory enforcement. However, having a world-class regulatory regime is not enough. Regulatory bodies need to engage with local communities that are concerned with the impact that could occur in their area, as they have heard has happened elsewhere. Their legitimate concerns should not be overridden. Local communities need to be convinced that community benefits and the sharing of future revenues are not to be interpreted as a way to buy off objections for particular ulterior motives. As the position now is that most of the conditions Labour laid down, and particularly those concerning the cumulative impact of multiple fracking pads on an area, have either been disregarded or weakened to such an extent that they no longer constitute credible environmental safeguards. The development of fracking exploration and production cannot be endorsed under these circumstances. It is not safe or reasonable to proceed without these key safeguards. Labour is now calling for a moratorium on fracking in the UK to be introduced until such time as we can be sure that full environmental safeguards can be observed. Finally, my Lords, there are concerns that shale gas is also a fossil fuel and that fracking is incompatible with our climate targets. As it then was, the Department of Energy and Climate Change's chief scientist, Professor David Mackay and Dr. Timothy Stone, concluded in a report that shale gas production would give rise to greenhouse gas emissions. They argued, however, that with the right safeguards, these would be relatively small and, in any event, comparable to liquefied natural gas, well below the emissions of coal. The Noble Lord Smith gave a thorough assessment of the relativities of the various fuel sources in the UK today. But this interpretation is not supported by the Committee on Climate Change, the independent statutory body set up to provide advice and analysis to Government and to report to Parliament. It concluded that the implications of shale gas for greenhouse gas emissions are indeed uncertain. By the time any shale gas exploitation would have developed on a significant scale, the UK carbon budgets would have reached more advanced and critical levels. Shale gas is only likely to become permissible once tests in relation to emissions, gas consumption and carbon reductions elsewhere in the economy have been satisfied. My Lords, the UK should not be developing shale gas any further at this time.